Hey guys, it's Luke here and welcome back to another video with the M140i. And you actually join me today, well, in the evening. I never film videos in the evening, but there is a prime reason for that, because the other night when I was actually driving at night, having a bit of a laugh, playing around with the new exhaust and the new sound, the new power and everything like that, a certain noise came from the exhaust, and I happened to have my GoPros with me, so I thought I'd put it on the back and see if it is what I thought it was, and it was. So yeah, the car now spits flames. So some of you may know that when this car was tuned, I wanted a little bit of an overrun, but nothing major, nothing which would go on for ages after you let off the throttle. But still some little pops and bangs, some burbles at lower RPM, and that I definitely have. I wasn't expecting it to spit flames or to breathe fire, but I guess just because how de-restricted the exhaust is, it now spits flames. And it's great because it's so much fun. So, I mean, the car in its normal mode is not antisocial at all. Even in sport mode, it's not. You have to be properly on it and have the car super warm for it to do it. Luckily right now it is. So I guess what we're going to do, actually before we go out and enjoy that, I'll have a run round because a lot has been done to this car recently and some of you guys may not be up to speed. So we'll do that and then we'll hop inside and we'll go breathe some fire. So if I'm honest, you're going to have to excuse the fact that the car is absolutely filthy at the moment. Of course, we now have the new brakes on the car and I'm still bedding them in. So I think cleaning the car is at the bottom of my list because it makes a lot of brake dust at the moment. But we're getting there and hopefully the car will be nice and clean for the next video. Normally I know I like to make the car nice and clean, but for this video you'll have to excuse that. So yes, like I said, new brakes are on the car. These are EBC discs and pads all around. We have the yellow stuff pads, which you might be able to see in there, just down there behind all of the brake dust, and of course the new discs as well. One thing which I didn't actually say in the installation video was that the discs actually come with the replacement hubs, which stay black, which is miles better than the originals, which were kind of a silvery colour, which would then go rusty. Only surface rust, but it would look a bit tacky. So having the black hubs in there makes it look a whole lot cleaner. So I got the brakes fitted up at Motec in partnership with both Motec and EBC. But if I come on inside, it's actually really dark in here. In fact, let's take the polarizer off. There we go. Where inside we have the new Cobra bucket seats. Now I'm going to have to overlay some shots here because it is so dark. There is a reason, of course, why I wanted to film this video in the evening. Of course, we also have the roll steering wheel Alcantara wheel, which was fitted quite a while ago. I'm sure you guys already know about that. But yeah, the car has been through, well, a bit of a transformation recently with the Downpipe by Cobra Sport, along with the Cobra Sport GPF Delete, also the Stage 2 tune, the new brakes and the bucket seats. So yeah, it's been a little bit of a little journey really. Very full on, but I'm massively impressed with how the car is performing. So now that we've got all that out of the way, I think we should fix some GoPros up around everywhere, go out for a nice evening drive and see if we can get some nice big flames out the back of this. definitely not quiet. Yeah, and because I am filming this in the evening, which means that the light is drastically going, I'm hoping that you can just ridiculous now. I mean, comparing what it is now to what it was maybe like a month ago, it's a different car. With these bucket seats, there is a little rattle down. That's my lunch. There is a little rattle down here which you might hear occasionally in this video. I'm going to sort that out, and there's a few other little bits which I need to sort out with the seats. Anyway, might be able to hear that right there. But I did it myself. I'm really happy with how they look. They're pretty comfy actually, although I do want to put some extra padding in. I mean, for what they are, they're pretty cool, and I fit them myself, so that's kind of cool. So yeah, we're in the evening at the moment. It's a nice Sunday evening. The roads are quiet. I thought I'd come out and film this video because just listen to this thing. And casting our minds back to when this car was tuned not too long ago, I didn't want anything major in the sense of noise. I didn't want to go in there and say, look, I want this to make the biggest flames possible, to be antisocial, and to not be able to turn it off. This car is still very drivable. If you put it in comfort, there's no drone, and it's like a normal car, like a normal 140. But when you put it into Sport and Sport Plus, which Rob at DMS mapped it so that in those two modes you would get the crackles on the overrun, and the crackles I think last for, I don't know how long exactly, but they're not like, they don't go on forever. Like if you get like 2 or 3, and one of them is a flame. But I didn't want anything where like you let off and it's like bang, 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 and it would go on for like 10 seconds. I understand that not everyone is going to like this. I personally love it. I think that the pops and bangs are probably going to be exaggerated quite a lot through audio, purely because the GoPro is going to be right next to it. They're not excessive unless when you get that flame. Like you get little burbles, which you might be hearing now, which sound nice. Like when you're just cruising and you want to make a little bit of noise, you can just kind of downshift at low RPMs and it will do nice little burbles, which I like. I mean, the car is ridiculous, and I wanted pops and bangs because it had it initially, and essentially what I wanted to do is replicate the OEM map that this car had for the pops and bangs, although rather than have it where you'd have to put it into a specific mode and it would only do it for a certain amount of time, I wanted it all the time when I wanted it in a certain mode, but I wanted it kind of the same. Like, I've had a couple of people comment on videos before this was mapped saying, look, have you like mapped in pops and bangs on this, because it sounds ridiculous. It was just a GPF delete with the OEM mapping for the pops and bangs, and I guess because the exhaust is so restricted that it now kicks flames out the back, which is cool. To get like the power and the noise and the excitement. You can do it at any RPM. Like, look, I'm doing 20 mile an hour now, and you can still get a smile on your face. And if you want to turn it off, you can. And that's what I think some people kind of miss when you see a modified car. It's normally a valved exhaust or a switchable exhaust where you can turn it all off. And in these videos, you're going to see it popping and banging a lot. That's because it's in that mode for the video. But I mean, I will say that my fuel consumption has declined significantly. But to be honest, I'm really not that fussed. I think I've gone through a tank of fuel today alone, to be fair. But that's what it's all about. That's what it is all about. So it was quite funny. It was actually the day that the car was mapped. When I was heading home, it was about 9 o'clock at night, about what it is now actually. And I was just playing around with how the car sounded, getting used to what it was like, getting used to how you can make it sound the best. And I heard this noise, a noise which I'm pretty familiar with from being in other people's cars. And I thought, that was a flame, wasn't it? That was definitely a flame. So I put up my camera, shoved it on the back, did the same thing again, and lo and behold, it was chucking flames out the back. And like I mentioned earlier on in the video, it's not something which, like, it's not the reason why I mapped the car for it to flame. It was kind of just like, oh, okay, it flames. That's cool. I mean, I'm fine by that. I'm completely fine. But yeah, that's kind of that. I mean, I I know I've said it a lot in the last like 2 minutes, but I absolutely love this car. I loved it before, but I love it in a whole different dimension now. So for those of you who probably haven't seen any of my previous videos before and wondering what setup I am running, it's basically a full, well, I wouldn't say a full, but it is significantly Cobra Sport. So the first thing I did was the Cobra Sport GPF Delete. One of the best mods I've done. It absolutely transformed the car. It didn't really sound like much as standard, obviously from having that OPF or GPF filter, basically a particulate filter, which would ruin all the noise. So that was taken out and just replaced with like a mid-pipe section, which also took out the res as well, the resonator. And then at the time of doing the tune, I then went for the Cobra Sport downpipe as well, and it has a stock back box still, but it just sounds heavenly. I don't think I will actually change the back box because I don't want to overdo it. You never know, I might do. You know what I'm like. Yeah, I think how it sounds at the moment is amazing. I mean, even just cruising, you can get that turbo whistle and you get the little burbles, and it's just a nice noise because you can very easily make a car sound wrong, maybe tinny or a bit echoey or just not quite right. For me, this sounds good. It feels like OEM, but just amplified. And I think that's hopefully something which you're going to agree with. If you don't, that's completely fine. I mean, it's my car at the end of the day, and I know not everyone's going to like it. I mean, look at the side stripes, for example. But I'm over the moon with this. I mean, DMS tuned this car to perfection, and it sounds absolutely phenomenal now, thanks to the guys over at Cobra. And yeah, I don't really know what else to say. It's getting dark, very dark actually, so I think I'm going to round the video up here, but I thought I'd just make this quick little video because I couldn't let a thing like this slide. It's my first ever car which has flamed before, and we love a few flames. It looks cool and it sounds pretty cool as well. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed, and I hope you've enjoyed the modifications to this car over the last couple of weeks. These videos have been in the planning stages for a long time, and I deliberately timed them to all go up simultaneously. I just thought it would be cool. In fact, the brakes went on way before the map, so in all the videos after that I've had to hide the fact that it had new brakes, and also the P3 gauge, which some of you have actually noticed before. But yeah, no, it's a completely different car now, and I absolutely love it. And it's not all as well. I've still got more planned. I have still a pretty substantial list, which I'm sure we'll be start ticking off some stuff in the not too distant future. But anyway, I'm going to wrap this one up here. I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you have, please do make sure you leave a like and make sure you're subscribed. All the adventures still to come.